Well, that's going to be the left bundle branch block. That goes first.
That goes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about what comes in.
Yeah, on page 397 in your handbook, that very first paragraph says that congestive cardiomyopathy has the same symptoms as those of congestive heart failure, and it's often associated with congestive heart failure. Treatment ordinarily resolves around the management of congestive heart failure, and so the heart failure is designated as the principal with an additional code for cardiomyopathy. That is not in your code book, and so I'm not sure it's a hard and fast rule, but you definitely would want to look at the focus of treatment, and if they're treating that congestive heart failure, then you need to put it first. Okay? Okay, otherwise I think everything was good. So I-44-7, I-50.22, I-42.0 for the congestive cardiomyopathy. Then you had the insertion of the generator, the CRTP, which is OJH637Z. Then you have your 3 leads, one into the right atrium, one into the right ventricle, and one into the coronary vein. So that's O2H63JZ, O2HK3JZ, and O2H43JZ.
Can you move that
Oh no. Alright. We're back up to you for number 8.
Is it I-22.2,
It is.
I-24.1,
Yes.
3EO40GC, 4AO2X42?
Alright, let's look. We're close, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, I-22.2 goes first. That's the subsequent subendocardial infarction. That's what brought him back. Remember, whenever you have an I-22, you have to have an I-21. So you have to go back and code that STEMI to the posterior lateral wall, which is I-21.29, because we're still within that 4-week time period. Then you have the I-24.1, which is, the Dressler syndrome, okay? And then you're going to have the TPA, which I think this is what you're trying to code, but we have a different code. I have 3EO3317. So that one is going to be introduction of a substance, and they put it into a vein, a peripheral vein, and it was a thrombolytic agent. Okay, so you're going to go introduction, vein. Let's see on that one. Introduction of a substance into the vein, and then you would come down to peripheral. So that's on page 82, and then you would come down to thrombolytic. And that's where you're going to get your 3EO3. And then, let's see, 3EO3. It's going to be thrombolytic 3EO3317. That's on page 581. Is that the only place that thrombolytic is? Yeah, for the peripheral. That's the only place it is. See it in that under the substances where it says thrombolytic? It's about halfway down. You got peripheral vein, percutaneous, thrombolytic, and then other thrombolytic. Okay, are you on page 581? Yeah, okay. Okay, did you find it? Yep, flip it. So you go 3EO3317. Okay? For TPA, because you'll probably see that on a lot on worksheets and tests, because you'll see it a lot in the real world. either streptokinase or TPA.
Thank you.
Okay, then, did you guys get 4AO2X4Z?
Yeah.
Did you get 4AO2XFZ? That's what I got, but your book says it's 4AO2X4Z, the whole electrical activity of the heart.
What
It's
book?
supposed to be
Huh?
What book says that? Because my book says
Your
F.
handbook.
Oh.
I think it was on page 1. It's not in that chapter. It's like on page 120 or something.
It's under measurement, weren't you?
Yeah, wherever they were talking about measurements.
Okay.
So you'll take either one.
I didn't say that. I said that y'all were smarter than me and found it.
It took a long time.
Did it?
I was like, don't you think it'd be easy
But
to find EKG?
EKG
No.
is reading a rhythm.
I know, but it's the whole electrical activity of them. Okay, now I'm just throwing this out for discussion too. Anybody think about putting on a Y95, which is
Why?
a nosocomial condition?
No.
Okay, so my first thought was no, that's nosocomial infections. But if that's true, why wouldn't it say infection? It says condition. And secondly, Dressler syndrome is pericarditis, which is inflammation, could be infection. I didn't do it, nobody else did, but I did ponder it. And I'm not sure how far they're taking that. I'm not sure. Well, nosocomial just means you got it while you were in the hospital. And he developed he developed Dressler syndrome while he was in the hospital. That's my point. How far are they taking that code? Is that anything? Since it doesn't say infection, are they talking about anything that happens in the hospital? I don't know. So I'm gonna have to do some more looking there. But I'm not taking off if you didn't have it. I'm just questioning whether it should be there.
Oh, I see. After the second MI,
Yeah,
I was looking after the first MI.
Yeah.
So it's like, meh.
yeah. Okay, number 9.